Saje chudan zoji chano la chanche pada dano jabzumje Dagi chishe jebe zonumje Dola benjo sanje ndrgo isho Saje chudan zoji chano la chanche pada dano jabzumje Dagi chishe jebe zonumje Lola benjo sanje ndrgo isho Sanje chedan soje jano Shanche bada dana jabzam je Dake chishi jibe tonam Lola benjo sanje ndrgo isho. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Geshe.
Good morning, Geshe.
You guys see that behind me?
Morning.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's beautiful, right?
Outside.
Beautiful. Good morning.
Yeah, very nice.
Good morning, Geshe.
I'm just showing good morning. I just show you guys, okay?
Wait, you climb up on the roof, Geshe?
I'm the climb the roof.
Be careful.
I'm land the score feet. Hello, good morning, the Mongolia.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah, this is nice weather. I just want to show you guys to how it looks outside. Hi, Kuncho. Say hi, Geshe.
Say hi, Geshe.
Say hi, everyone. Yeah,
Hi.
come to
Hi.
yeah.
You can go now.
Just loves the kids.
Yeah.
Stay here.
Yeah.
If you want to stay here, you stay quiet.
Yeah.
That didn't take long.
Yeah, it's kids not. Good, yeah. Look like you guys looks good. Everyone's safe. Looks good. Do you have any questions?
May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering.
Okay. Anyway, if you don't have question, then I'm going to start to my talking. Anyway, it's wonderful to see all of you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
How's my voice?
Sounds good.
Sounds very good.
Okay.
Sounds great.
It's a little loud.
No?
But I can make the little loud, then I don't have to set too loud. Do you have some tea or coffee? Make sure everyone have some. Good. That's good. That's wonderful.
I have my Christmas mug today.
Good.
Christmas.
Good. Yep. Anyway, wonderful day. This is good to see all of you. Also, it's wonderful to everyone's safe. Even I think we are lucky. No one's got sick. And, except Tamchu and me, everyone can move, okay? Yeah, because you're behind. No, the Mongolia, you also unmute. Oh, that's good. That's good. Live like that. Then don't touch. Good. Good. Anyway, it's a wonderful day. It's a good weather, and also another best. I'm very glad for all of you. We all very safe. But still, everyone hears the COVID-19 become more and more and more. Therefore, please make sure everyone be safe. Don't be careless. Because I think right now there's a lot of things also. People doesn't care, doesn't pay attention. They're not enough to patient. Also, I hear that also most that they're not the younger people. It shows they don't care. They think I'm healthy. I can do what I want. Then they go out. Then this happen. Therefore, please make sure. I'm sure you guys not like that, but make sure don't be careless. This the only stop is just everyone to really care for yourself. That's the only way. Therefore, it's possible, don't go out. If you go, make sure your mask. This is more important. Sometimes that is good, sometimes that is not good. I think that like publicly, the mask and workers, subdestined. What is it, subdestined? I know the word. And social distance and stay home is the best way to stop. Otherwise, we cannot stop anywhere. Therefore, everyone, please be careful. Don't be careless. This is more important. Right now, this impermanent, the nature of the impermanent. First, this happened, everyone's very scared, stressful. Everyone to, maybe I got it. Even you just close window. Like couple months, they become like normal. It shows impermanent. Therefore, it will change, but still the disease is still walking around here. Therefore, make sure everyone to really be careful. Okay? This is very important. It's religion and non-religion doesn't matter. Young or old, healthy or not healthy, doesn't matter. Everyone, that's very important. Okay? Then what are we going to talk? Today I like to talk something different way. Therefore, we do a lot of praise, every day, every night. Also, I'm sure you guys also a lot of meditation. I'm sure it's going to help for also protect for us. Therefore, still follow that guidelines. Then look like still, we have, even like China, still they're going up. It's almost now 6 months. Then look like, still we have to stay like they have a couple of months, maybe years. I hope not. Like anyway, everyone, because we don't miss any classes. I think you miss to come to center to do things, to clean up, to set up. I think you just miss their things. Then otherwise, you don't miss anything. We all get the classes, we all get the teachings, we all get the praises. Then we are all good. Therefore, I say, I'm sure, I think you guys are already relaxed now. Everyone's very like normal. This become normal. Therefore, I don't have to say be relaxed, be relaxed. You're already relaxed. Of course, it cannot be stressful because stressful doesn't fix. But we know that, but if we had to stop, right? Like that, okay? Today the talk answer and then also also miss and the same kangal down. I'm not samlu and it's that ring matrawa patanga mucha go. They pay na
So it is important to understand, the difference between the people, their way of thinking, and their nature, their instinct, and all are different.
제가 안에 로만은 시타 지금 잠벨가 안에 semja 참이게야 아니 동아 시다 대야 안에 semji 강에 간지지고 된 것도
So we have to understand or identify the sufferings in general of all sentient beings, and in particular the mental stress and the suffering, the mental suffering, of the human beings.
제가 안에 든지 동아검 안에 semji 강에 대 가와내려도 간지내려도 간지 바까고도 도도가도 sem나란 척고도.
And so once we have understood, what the suffering is, what the suffering is, or the mental, suffering is, then you have to search, for the cause of those sufferings. Where do they come from, and how can we prevent them, or how can we put a stop on them?
제가 안에 알아서 안에 직다 미참아가도 미치까지 추케내게이나 추케 말랭게 봐나 간지지 봐나 아니 samlo tang nobe wanka ani tela ani kunshu norba yugo was.
And whether it's people, someone who believes in Dharma or someone who doesn't believe in Dharma, it's the same, for all of us, because of our mistake in the way we are thinking, and then there comes, the mistake in the way we do the things.
제가 안에 samlo tang norba ani kunshu nobe wanka ani leji kange semji kange 다 문토니 나도 용어 되거든.
So because of the mistakes we make in our thought and in our action or behavior, and then there comes all these sufferings.
근데 그래도 다등하도 삶을 당하다 다등하도 곰도 자게다세.
So is it like that? Let's think about it. We'll do a little bit of meditation on that now.
배난 로바 미그 아니 다 나로서 강에 님이 좀 말때 레지 강에다 생각 강에 소 데려왔어.
And so our suffering, there are only two kinds, right? One is mental suffering and the other one is the physical suffering. There are no other than that.
제가 대용도다 가는 삼로 땅땅 노르지. 삼로 땅땅의 노르네 아니 텔라드네 아니 쿠슈 다 링아 요সম지 쿠슈 액션 노르죠 요네 아니 리지강아 세미강아 저기 요래서 다 도둑이는 건 라고 여러와.
So how do we experience those sufferings, the mental suffering or the physical suffering? Is because of making mistake in our thought or thinking in the wrong way, and because of that, then engaging in the wrong action, physically engaging in wrong action, and then because of that, then we experience or encounter all these sufferings, unwanted sufferings.
Okay. 제가 때처럼도 띵가도 때 삼로 있다셔. 때 레드미도 때 삼로 있다다스. 근데 삼로 땅땅 노르 대나네 쿠슈 노르 바테네 일링아스지 강가된 책도 유스라가 때 따다 레드미도 삼로 땅셔.
So now contemplate on that, okay? Because of having this wrong thought, then we engage in the wrong action or physical behavior, wrong behavior or wrong physical action. And then because of that, then we experience all these mental and physical sufferings. Is that true or not? Let's contemplate on that for some time.
아니 그때 추켈랭에 옛날에 추케 말랭에 옛날 강갈 집어자는 거와.
And so this is same for everybody, whether we believe in Dharma or not.
Okay, that's channel to some of that.
Yeah, so now think about that, okay? Contemplate on that. We're going to meditate for a little while.
Oh yeah. To chinga to samlo ta semna ranchua ji go sirwa.
And so like that, if we keep on contemplating for some time, then we'll come to realize it in our mind, right?
다 원하더니 samlo ta 같이 노를 해서 다티 저와라. 그나 담보 samlo 타다노. 텔라테네 쿠션노. 텔라테네 가서 링하스미 동아연 거를 라바라.
So as we said, first we have the mistaken thought, and then from there comes the mistaken behavior or action, and then from there comes the mental and physical sufferings that we experience, right? So now, first of all, how does the mistaken thought come about?
제 장관도 쉬운주나라 예와스. 동아 돈도 셈야 장. 동아 질랑 거 버려 쭉.
Just like it is said in the Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, so that even though we have a wish to be free from suffering, but we're always running after the cause of the sufferings.
And 대화 더자 뜨무 배랑가 대화 다탄 좀 스타식 되게 배 dom친 보이사다.
So even though we want to have happiness, we destroy our happiness, cause of our happiness, as if it is our enemy. That's as if it is our enemy out of ignorance.
제다 티노 가로 뜨무 배랑가 대화 다 뜨무 아니 뜨무 된자 뜨무 사다다 마리파 미시바들 버스 다 테레스 소데 마사데.
So that, which says destroy one's happiness, even though we want to have happiness, we destroy our happiness as if it is our enemy out of ignorance. So the cause, the root cause of all this is ignorance. From the ignorance comes all this mistaken thought, mistaken behavior, and so forth.
제자 안에 뜨무새 대한 남주 문제 다니거래. 안에 뭐바 참다 안에 시절로들 로스 로마라니 남주 문제 치거래. was.
So when we say ignorance, so there are the two types of ignorance. So one ignorance is just not knowing. Simply not knowing is ignorance also, right? And then another one, is grasping at something in a mistaken way. That's the worst ignorance, grasping to something in a mistaken way.
제가 나도 참여를 나서 소수고 링아 여성을 내가 가르쳐서 나도 참여 나 신경요 삼대게로 강가 토는데 나 신경요 나 하고요.
And so, we have this tendency of we know everything, right? Even though we don't know, we always think, oh, I know, I can do it, I know it, so I know. So we have this strong ignorance.
그래서 제가도 간지 나도 수행한 게 나 신경면 나도 laptop 말아 가래네네.
So most of us, because of our pride or arrogance, we cannot say, I don't know.
제자가 가상아동에 아니 지금 되시잖아요. 맞. 소주사만 차나지요 그랬어. 차나 신조를 저도. 내 체벌 때는 단 나가라 이해했으면 액션 체가 됐어. 대량아도 아니 말이 빨라 그래. 못 빨라 그랬어. 봐.
So like I said, the ignorance, simply not knowing and thinking is something true when it's not. Like I mentioned last time, something appears, to our mind, right? The things appear to our mind, and then the way it appears to us, we think that's how things are, and we grasp to that, and that's the biggest ignorance.
제가 다 저랑게 변나 소수게 변나. 근데 소수고 초회 강연으로 저랑서 선보지 당다스. 야만나 소수고 지 레가지 노르네 아니 그 강연으로 선보지 당다스. 야만나 마시 배용거래. 야만나 신절로든 좀 배용거 됐어.
So think about any kind of awkward feelings or sufferings or unwanted feelings that you had. Think about that. How did that come about? So either by not knowing or by grasping it in a mistaken way. And of course, these are the cause, and then many other conditions. There are also conditions for that. And then there's conditions are the external things.
제자 아니 단대 칼에 와가지고 아니 썸로 단단 노 텔라테니 아니 쿠션 노 텔라테니 링하게 강에 되는 올라가요.
So like I said, first we have the mistaken thought, and then from there comes the mistaken action, and then because of that, then we have these unbearable or unwanted sufferings.
제가 텔레데 가서 막 게르키 다 나지고 신속고 나라. 잠벌리 아니 자급 참여에 되는 거로.
And so that is same for all of us. So for at the individual level, or in the society, or the country, or the whole world, all the sufferings, unwanted feelings that we get is because of that.
제가 뜨묵사도 빼 무시바 참라 뜨묵사 제가 신절로든 좀 뜨묵사 이용 것도 봐.
So like I said, so it's all the cause goes back to the ignorance. So ignorance, like that, like I said, two types of ignorance. One is simply not knowing, and another one is grasping in a mistaken way.
맨날 단대 갑라 도염내도 잠벌래 딱 잡주는 까마도 쳐거도 단대는 이야래 아니 뜨무고 뭐 받아 아니 신절로든 좀 이게 깨지는 거로.
So like the current problem that we are all facing, the COVID-19 issue, the whole world is experiencing, and so this one is because of this ignorance as well. So both kind of ignorance, simply not knowing and grasping it in a mistaken way.
제때 나라서 그게르 수수 게르랭 메레랭 모레가 상못하네 레도 말했어.
And so we have to think, whether it's true or not. Each individual should think whether it's true or not.
제가 안에 단델 내 가상 야소로데 다 간지 미도 맡고 왔다. 이제 다 미도 맡고 있더라고.
So like here in this case, the best way to prevent this, to avoid it, is to not meet with the people.
Herewa, iban ta nganzo legan rogo yere ya kaso go da ko mil maturanto shalom rogo was.
But in our case, when we live in the society, it's very difficult, to keep the social distancing all the time, right? Even though we do that, but to not meet with people completely is impossible, because either we have to go to work or we have to do groceries and all this. There are a lot of people all around the places, right? So it's really difficult to avoid that.
아 오늘 딱 가지고 다때 sabdo che고래서 간지 배차잖아 내바 요사가 맹간나라다 멤버도 너스도 시당 능이 요다나 다고 다시 그 야샤 로전에 다 도보도 개말어 와서 그래서 sabdo 쇼체요.
So because we cannot avoid not meeting with the people, therefore what we have to do is be conscientious when we meet with somebody, like following the guidelines to protect ourselves by wearing the right gears. So like the doctors and nurses in the hospitals, they have to face with the patients, like the COVID patients, face to face. But because of they're being conscientious, not many of them, most of them don't get it, right? So of course there are some doctors and nurses who have who've been infected with this disease. But when we compare with the percentage, then the percentage of the people who have been infected is very, very small. So like that, just like the nurses and doctors, can avoid themselves by being very conscientious. Like that, if we know the way, by knowing how to avoid that, then we can how to protect ourselves. We can avoid that. So if somebody were to ask us question, can we be conscientious about this? What would you say? So if you are conscientious, it is 100% that you will not get sick. That's not true either, right? So only thing that's 100% sure is the karmic law of cause and effect. So but this is not a Buddhist talk only, okay? So in Buddhism we say karmic law of cause and effect, but in reality, in general case, you can just say cause and effect, which is true for everybody. So it's the cause and effect, right? So if there is a cause and conditions together, then nothing can stop, from the results arising, right? But if there's no cause and condition, then nothing can, make the result, appear also. And so in this case, why are we not able to stop it? It's of course all these ignorances, right? Because of not knowing exactly what to do, and or not being unconscientious, and there are some people who doesn't even care about it, and they're just careless, right? Being very careless and just not caring about it, and because of that, every day on a day-to-day basis, it's increasing more and more.
내가 좀 삼도 sabza마다나 될 때 내가 좀 몸을 주기도 대사 같이라도 달 남주 수번 탄다명에 즉 내바니 개고도 날데 알로 중어도 내가 챘나 개말하는 다 대상 로초모 로초 다데감 나야데 마차 로초어 색도 되게 째지네 가제 맨칸도 셔도도 강가를 강게 되기도 제자 sabzab 제고도.
And also of course it's because of our collective karma, right, that we have created in the past, and then the result, and then the meeting with the condition, and now we experience this pandemic. But also there's a wrong information spread at the beginning, right? So there's, this affects only people who are old and sick, and who's who has existing diseases and so forth like that, right? And so there's no problem for young and strong people. Then because of that, then people, some young and strong people, they think they don't get it, and they just be careless. And now there's so many young people are getting it also. And then because of that, many hospitals are facing many problems.
Jela kange mantewe chede ngarangi sabdo chegi yesena tangado shanjib sengu nyamne tatang rudo de.
And so if we say, I'm going to be conscientious, I'm going to follow the guidelines and be conscientious so that others don't experience problems. So if we think like that, then that becomes altruistic practice, right? Altruism.
제 찬타나 베나 멤버다 날수 레바자긴 도스. 다 코치 전화서 사업자서 난돌아 삼로시 따로치다 생각도 왔어. 그래서 배 뭐네 삼부터나 대 가로 나도 삼로 양조 땅거든 렌도 왔어.
And so just like the nurses and doctors make requests for us to be careful, stay home, and for them, like that. So it's really true, really time to think, and consider for others.
제가 땡에 나도 디나 미카신데 라고 말다. 시탄 잠블리 미칸가. 잠블리 미칸가 담 섬땅우도.
So I'm not saying only to people who are on the Zoom here now, and I'm talking this, to everybody in the whole world.
제가 나도 다 잠비가 sabsab샤는 단다 control 가진도 소소 sabs니가 나도 소나고 말어서. 단다 sabsab 제거 빼는 거라도.
So here we are, people who are related who here at the Kurukulla Center are very fortunate, right? Because one is, because of the kindness, of the three jewels, and the other is, ourselves, being very conscientious, and none of us has, gotten sick yet.
와, 어제 장가네. 뱅안도 삼로단데 단대 뭐네 샘섬데 단대가 멤버다, 너스다. 맹갈라가 진짜 콘돌에 남이 요래 부고 요래 조가 요래 게메 요래 얘나 대 요기 루탄에 맹간 로고 요래 말레가 마찬가지로.
So like the nurses and doctors now, they also have a family. They have children, they have husband, they have wife. So they forsake all this and go to work in the hospital to serve the sick. Of course, this is when this is their job, and they have no choice but to do the work, right?
제가 아니 나도 내 집어만 봐지 미 강하게 단 잠벨이 미 참에게 때 소소 집어 삼마대 같이 제때 삼노탄 거도.
And so now, it is time to think about others. So not only thinking about oneself, but, should start thinking about others.
제가 나도 미게지 야럽지 삼바다 야럽지 쇼바니 냠지 아니 마럽지 쇼바다 마르지 삼바 슈체다니 나도 다 고스마도 차대로.
So because of good thoughts, and the good behaviors, declining, and bad thoughts and bad behaviors increasing, and we experience all these sufferings.
제가 야럽기 삼바서 그래 심페가 삼바. 아, 단 대체는 얘가 뭐 약보에 말이 제는 너그래 삼바이나 고 야럽 차서 왔어. 다 마럽 세디다 소소 주보 뭐지 가지 소소 뭐지 삼처럼 마땅하지. 땅안데 왜 타고 못했어. 가지 쇼로 지로 와.
So good thoughts, or the good mannered thought, and good mannered behavior. So all these are very important. So this is when we talk about good mannered thought, and it is talking about the thought that thinks about others, that thinks about benefiting others, that the thought that considers others.
제가 다 대상원에 다 딩의 뉴마 때 뉴메는 뉴마 차원에서 메간 가지고 마렵게 씌워서 뭐지 간지 소소 란도메시 아니 젠삼저 딱 마당와 차선도.
So because of this degeneration time, everything, it's like the degeneration of degeneration now. And because of that, most of people all thinking about oneself. So they're all engaging in bad mannered behaviors and thoughts.
제장아 다들 영어도 가르치는 영어서나 쇼제데 tumu mishibada. Show chini shinjolodun tamba tenying word.
And so why this happens, because of the ignorance, like I said, because of the ignorance of not knowing and ignorance, of grasping in a mistaken way.
제자 간지 삼자 맞춰야 배나 배나 단다 랭도 단다 비치 또 랭도 밑비 동자 자자 따라 뭐 비치라 행치는 도도 또 배 농주로 와서 근데 된 농주에 뭐 간지 신경을 말해 캔랭겨 말해
Correct?
배나 비치 또 배 몸으로 도도
And so nowadays, people still go to the beaches, and doesn't keep the social distancing, and nobody's, wearing masks or anything. And so like that way, when so many people get together like that, and then they can easily spread that disease, right? And so that's a very big mistake, to like gather in a big group like that.
제자 안에 감수 제자 안에 가로 등아 된도 세미의 장스 등아 질랑가 봐주세요. 따단도 왔어. 스치라 나야도 스치려고 말다다 인가도 더블 메기전 저때 나사도 나 동무도 같이 나사 모습 장자래서 등아 된도 세미지 나사들 팍 마그가 가로 탑시증이 참나 요러.
And then also, like, it's true, that with the not wanting to have any suffering, but running after the cause of the suffering all the time. So it's true that we don't want to have suffering. So if you were to ask anybody, do you want to have suffering? They say, no, nobody wants. No, nobody would say, I want to. Everybody would say, no, I don't want any suffering, right? But because of the ignorance, right, always creating the cause for suffering.
대도들와 대다당한도 삼다 마랑도 삼다 대문에 가르 레드도 레메도스 대가도 다시 남배 춘에 랍서 연다 레스 엉에 개개가 랍서 따다레 대 많이 맞지 소수고 남쪽고 삼로 따네 샘려야 뇨한테 보고
And so we should contemplate and then think whether that's true or not. Not just because our teacher, taught me like that, or not because our Buddhism taught me like that, but from your own experience, is it really true like that or not? That's what's important to find out.
Have some tea? Water? Oh yeah, that thing to come to the that's.
So now I'm going to meditate on that for a little while, okay?
Yes, a thing to make a corner, mono, my budget. Shut down, zumbling me sometimes in that.
And so not pointing to a particular person saying that she's mistake, his mistake, not like that, but general, the people of all the world.
Okay. 대체당 안도 밑 삼에 가지고 삼로 nen대당 거 뺏는 거 전부 작도.
And so it is very important, for all of us, to think it over again and again.
제자 기승이 받아야다. 대반도 장하스 대반도 고도 비로 집어지 돼야 돼. 그 대반도 여러분 대화 yap어도 옛날 때문에 배랑 그 대반은 다튼 좀 못했는데 배 내가 첨부.
And then the next two line of that verse, it says, even though we want to have happiness, out of ignorance, we destroy that and destroy our happiness as if it is our enemy.
제가 때문에다 마방아 하고이라로 옛날 근데 년가요와 하고 그쪽 가르쳐 놓는 나도 너무 말았어. 남진 너무 말았어.
And so usually, like we say, oh, I know. So if you know, then why do you do it? If you know it, then while knowing, why do you do it? And of course, that means we don't know.
제가 근데 저나 되면 맨날 나도 가르쳐놓고 가지 내가 다지나 너 내가 지어는 거는 나도 민통 하고나 나도 내 내가 이어그러 와. 삼배 이어그러 와.
So like if there is a danger, and if we know there is a danger, if we know there is a danger, we will not go into that, right?
제가 가르치는 분들은 나 대원도 등한번 되었다. 아니 다 등한테 로그면서 가서 가그러 왔어.
So why do we don't go into danger? It's because we don't want to have suffering. We want to have happiness. We don't want to have suffering. Therefore, we avoid going into the danger.
제가 대원도 장 뜨무배 아랑가 대와 다신 좀 써야 돼. 대원도 거다 예만한 그 미시 몸배 원게 소소 원얘기 다 된자데 아니 매워서 상요래스. 어디
So even though we want to have happiness, out of ignorance, we destroy our happiness as if it is our enemy. And that's really true. And because of not knowing, what is, what brings the happiness, and what is, the happiness, and what brings the happiness, we destroy that as if it's our enemy.
제가 내가도 죽 계시면다 대시당 잠벌레가 내서 되는 레드도 메도 저랑 가도 삼로다 검지 잡다.
So it's not about dharma only, right? So is it really true like that in the whole world or not? Is it true like that? Is it really true that even though we want to have happiness, because of not knowing, we destroy our happiness? Is it really true?
대양가도 미치라 빌름 제메다 아 코노소 모노도 되면다 세당이 다 미칸가.
So no, we're not thinking in the cases of only one or two individuals, but in the whole world, in general, to everybody. Is it like that or not?
세뜨무들라 니도 왔어. 뭐바 탐다. 하 먹어. 내도 하 먹어 탐다. 지게 내도들 그 소소 지삼 다라 레삼이 쇼치도 다니. 된게 뭐바 차도 왔어.
And so, like I said, the root cause for this is ignorance, and ignorance of simply not knowing, and also mistakenly grasping at something, thinking that whatever I see is true, whatever I hear is true, thinking like that, grasping at that.
다 되게 식 대니기 된다는 가서 까마쭈 지금도 검잡셔 왔어.
So now we're going to meditate for about 10 minutes on those two lines, okay? We'll just talk about it.
식드마이 특드마 야는데 아니 잠벌레기 쇼돌라 삼로 땅 소소가 내돌라 삼로 땅으로
And so recite those two lines, right? So the verse, recite that verse about the suffering and the happiness, and and then see whether it's true or not, in your case, and then in other people's case, in the whole, in the people of the whole world's case.
오케이. 스타 Yeah. That you do similar radio check do it. You good. That much is. That much is.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So did you get any idea now?
The red, the thing only the red do something you do it.
So did you feel like it's really true like that?
Sheza and they want to do to move around the one that you want to do.
So though we want to have happiness out of ignorance, we destroy our happiness as if it's our enemy. Is that really true?
Then another color size, that Chudo the color Sato Saga was. In another Nasa Mambo, you pen a color Satanda, Kaji Susu Kusho Chani, Nasa Mambo.
So like for example, eating food, right? Why do we eat food? For happiness, right? For happiness. So many of us, of course, you are very careful of what you eat, right? But many of our disease or suffering comes from not eating properly or not behaving or doing things properly.
Subo Yapo Yonada, Namba Yapo Yonada, and Subo Toshimo Yochikaji, David Sagiorwa. Yena Sada Mashwa the name of Mamotu.
So yeah, when we eat food, we think that the food, we feel happy if we have that food, right? So for enjoyment, for happiness, we eat that food. But because of not eating the right kind of food or not eating in the right way, we end up getting a lot of sufferings.
Cheda the tat, carrying on the tail, Suzugo, some of the Lobjong Yamlegi, then Dulmatova and the Theodigals, Mikanga.
And that also, happens, because of not being able to subdue our mind, right? Not being able to train our mind, through teachings and meditations and practices.
Penangado Pukashi Pena Pameg and Dumato, Pameg, Pamad Giga Kamanina, and a Pud and Torado was.
So it's really like that, right? When you are not able to tame, like some kids, when if they are not tamed by either their parents or teachers, then that kid, becomes very naughty, right? Is that right?
Pukashi and a Pameg Kare, Gege Kayaponia, Kashi, Lojo Mache, Pameg Kamania, Pugad Soso, Methodology.
So there are some kids, who don't, listen to the parents or don't listen to their teacher, and then they spoil their life like that, right? There are some kids like that who are not tamed.
Cheda Karina Kuchumatavayana, and Controla the Ibarado, Chumatalamka Shodo.
So it's really it's natural, right? If you're not tamed, then will be spoiled.
Cheta Narazo, Tamitsam, and Chubalamada. Nandu same day, low Jean and Yamlega Chumatova, Dulmatova, and Takanga. That's what.
And so similar with our mind, not talking about only a bunch of people here, but in general for everybody, because of not being able to tame our mind and tame our behavior, and therefore we are spoiled, and we get into all these problems and experience all these kinds of sufferings. And so, we have very strong self-cherishing mind, right? And very strong self-centered mind. And because of not being able to tame those mind, then we experience a lot of suffering. And like that, we also have very strong anger and very strong hatred, hating others. Like that also, we have a very strong pride or arrogance, thinking that oneself is better or higher than others. And also we have a very strong jealousy, not being able to bear to see the prosperities of others.
on the tendish, any so sichi any shashi gonna mantabatani udoa.
And then also we have a very strong inconsiderate about others, right? Not thinking, not caring about others, and not caring about others' feelings.
Tini yunguda, Tisamata, Tini Chevana, Tinga Tinila Karsuna, and Suzuki Jendan Javalado.
And then, like, we do have that very strong, right? And because of that, we lost a good relationship with others. And then like that, we'll have less and less friends. And then like that, one will be friendless. We'll have nobody, to care or to be around us. So we'll be like a friendless. And then at the end, when that happens, then many people end up commit suicide.
알아서 추주 간에 이제 남주이나 십대사가 조보된 유니시라래 그 가디 라로 그러지.
So it's because of that, right? It's it's true with with us individually or in the society, and if the society is like that, then society will not have people coming to socialize with like that, right? And so it's very it's very true with all of us. Even though we don't think in that way, we always think that, oh no, I've never done that, and I don't do that. But it's really true because there are very few of us who still have friends from the childhood, right? So because they all disappear. Why? Because of our those kind of strong thoughts. And then also, especially those who live with us, right? Who share the livelihood with us, is very few.
아니 수수고까지 좋아졌다 수수고 삼로단 잡아 수수고 군수단 저가 딜링샤 제마거나 거기 좋아하시나 갈티바라데 고통념도 차대다 고 저와 대대 그러was.
So why we lose this contact or relationship with the others is because of our afflictive emotions that we talked about earlier, like anger, jealousy, pride, and so forth, right? And because of that, and those afflictive emotions, when we have that and they experience that, then they go far away. But like some friends, some people you only meet once in a year, maybe, and then they don't see your afflictive emotions, and they will stay your friend for a long time. Is it like that? So I'm not saying you guys are bad, okay? I'm just saying how we are in general. Human beings are in general. So who stays for longest? Are if we have dogs and cats and birds, they will stay friend for a long time. Because they don't see our afflictive emotions, they will listen to us, right? And so it's really true, with all of us, right? So we don't stay as a friend or don't come into contact with each other. It's because of our, bad-mannered thoughts and actions, right? Too much of bad-mannered thoughts and actions, and because of having very little good-mannered thoughts and actions. So now meditate on that for a little while, okay?
지나서 초보 야슈 다단다 지나서도 초보 타는 뭐 차되게 들리지 저 파지 요절 파지 요레스.
So maybe you can think about your friend, so who used to be a very good friend of yours and now who has become very distant from you.
제가 대 가르치는 쇼를 삼다다. 내가도 삼도 다다시.
And so now think about that friend and then think about the reason why that friend became distant from you.
Okay? 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes. Try to find that, okay? Okay. How's it? Do you find someone you go for good friend, then you have become changed, and now you're not very comfortable with those person. 제가 내 가도 다 남배 춘에 콜랍스 해도 그 공원에서 들 차대로.
So these are not the things that is only said in the Buddhism, but it's the reality, right?
제가 대양 가서 그렇게 다 그냥 얘기 좀 이렇게 말했어. 그래서 얘기 아니 족보대 간지 아니 뜨목 말이 봐 대가 족보 채워도 되죠, 봐.
And so that's also not my mistake, completely, because my friend, is also driven by ignorance, and I met a friend, with the friend out of ignorance.
제가 다 오늘 이것도 다 좋아질라. 오늘 단도 차서 내서도 내가 학원은 가서 가르쳐 그랬으나 나도 미 봐줘야 돼. 아 이제 딱코 미시 몸에 와도 저발에 섬나 텔레 템베 내차 셔당 코로 가자도 용조 그랬어.
So what benefits are there if we think in this way? So when we think that, oh, this guy is doing it out of ignorance, then we will not be that much angry, towards that person. Like that, so all other afflictive emotions like anger, attachment, jealousy, pride will be lessened.
근데 미치게 못하다 요와이나 못하 수도 못하다 와이나 가지 쓰다와네 아니 슈그 따와서는 미디 창가 세대와 통하나 나도 저도 다 쿠창도와도 농축 쇼마레스 딩그 다바레세 나도 샘 텔파인도 그러고 아니 그 라스밍이나 아니 그 미디 삼자 맞춰 와치네레세 나도 텔레 블림체 그러고.
So like, for example, somebody was drunk and then they drove and they got into accident, right? And so when we say, oh, how did he get into accident? Oh, because he drank, because he was drunk, right? And he was not very careful, therefore he got into accident.
제가 안에 가도 두 시에 텔레파 삼도 당하잖아. 안에 가서 달랍서. 제가 그게 근데 노트도 봐야 돼 팽도 코드 라스비 끼어들나 콜라야 빌름 챗에서 용 팽도 왔어.
And so if we think about the situation, right? And then say, oh, because he got drunk, and therefore he crashed into somebody's car. So if you think like that, then your anger towards him becomes a little less because you are blaming now to the drunk.
제가 누친가도 곰타오잖아. 응에서 내 방아도 하고 가도 하고에서로 이래. 얘는 간도 들지 냠도도 제메와 이자. 얘는 간도 참마다 디자원 로슈조로 차도도 와.
So therefore, on these situations, we have to meditate, we have to contemplate and meditate. Even though we think like, oh, I know, yeah, that's how it is, but that's that's like a artificial knowledge, right? So it's just you know it, but you don't really realize it. So in order to gain the realization of that, we have to contemplate and meditate on it.
Okay. 제가 누드시 곰들 잡자. 다 대상처라서 나 마체 날 대대래. 지진에 뒤져이게 맨날 간지 그래서 헬레 차요. 곰 뒤져 동바 역할 곰들 잡셔.
So like that, try to meditate. Okay, so now when you are staying at home, when you are staying at home a lot more than before, and when you have the spare time, and spend that time doing meditation.
제가 가디나 산지 자자 다다마데 델타나 코 나도 야게 코야 뭐 말까지 누가 자자마시.
And so therefore, don't watch news all the time. If you mostly see only bad news, and you don't get much good news.
제가 잠좀 천도에만 미카시도 산제다 근데 따는 소소를 이모시 작은도 제는 마다는 야소래.
So some people get very stressed, and emotional, when they watch news and see the bad things in the news. And for that kind of people, better not watch news at all.
근데 텔레도 소소 차다지 거래서.
And then from there can come all these other afflictive emotions like attachments and angers.
제 장가 아니 소소지라 뇽모코는 파 뇽모파도 와 뇽모파에 레카데 인지 무지 제마고 같으나 맞잖아 야여로.
And that increases our afflictive emotions. So anything that increases our afflictive emotion, then better not do those things at all. So for example, like for me, I don't get any feeling when I watch the news. So for some people, they get a very strong feeling when they watch the news. So then in that case, it's better not watch at all.
아니 대체니다 대상변나 찾아됐다 저나서 변나 가원체 찾아대 미래가 라빠라 폰래요래 아니 다튼 잠벌래 그 내서 문에 예봐도 문에 많이 봐도 좀마다 가가 냠도 뜻이 따서는 가가 뚝뚝 따셔다.
And then also surfing on the web, because like everybody has access to that now, and everybody has a smartphone in their phone, and they have internet on the phone. Data plans, internet, right? So from there they can get access to all these web surfings, and then when they look for one thing or another thing, then that stirs up all your mind.
제가 되게 가르치는 데서 맨날 빼차시나. 저랑게 재미니, 아무나 저랑 좋아하니. 남주 쌈도 땅땅 아니 만잡아지 요와이나. 저랑이 비 꼴라야 내서 냠도 따봐이나. 저랑이 바람 두바 쇼노 그랬어. 대야 보여 말해.
And so like also when you and your wife or you and your husband have a different opinion about the things, and then when you both are watching the thing or news, and then you have a different opinion, you will have different thoughts and arguments, and you might get into a fight like that.
Tenada to control Sane, you can Nathan Dukujan Kalera was.
And if you get into a fight, then it will be difficult to go to sleep on the same bed, right?
Che Tanga Tele Co take a short shut on Namjun, the Soso, the Tower Montana Trena, Namjus Ticola and Malena Yashore, Kososo Shajo.
And so if you don't have a same view, if you have a contradicting view about some things, then better not watch it together. Separately.
When the Tisa shows Ari Yabundo, when the Chulu was it, when the Choga Namba, and the Jeme Shiroba Kajiso, so the Chudo Legament or Karchana, take on Nogama, Chudo Legament.
And so if you don't, bother in each other's belief or opinion, then that's okay, right? So not like in America, we have the religious freedom. It means like you can practice any kind of religion you want, right? There can be a husband who is a Buddhist and a wife who is a non-Buddhist or believing in some other religion, like Muslim. Wife can be Muslim, a husband can be a Buddhist, and they practice their own religion and don't bother, don't put your nose in other people's religion. And then that's okay, right? Then there's no problem, no fightings.
제가 남주네 제가 남주 대상변나 제가 안에 남주변나 다 못합 간다고 하나 나도 용도 왔어. 나도 소소 깨제셔도 소소 초보 남주가 돼. 때는 지시에 파 지투에는 슈마 소소 못합 간데 딜레치기 시작하도.
Then same, here on the Facebook now, that's the social media. On Facebook, people, have a different ideas, different opinions. And then when you say something and the other person says something about it, and then you get into fight or argument, and then then you don't like that person, and then you delete that person from your friend account, right? So that's because of that.
제가 대소수가 칼라 사야기 돈다 패요 말에 잡로로 거야게 패 말에 아니 나와 지금 먹이지나 아니 빌제 패도 말 그거 다 콘도서 내고 저거지 나서 와.
And so that doesn't benefit anything, right? That doesn't help you to buy food that you need to eat. That doesn't help you to buy clothes that you need to wear. And that doesn't help you to pay your bills, or mortgages. But for no reason, you lost your friend.
뭐 제자 남편이 전화도 때 sab도 제 뺏는 것이 뭐래. 제가 간도 지요래. 아니 미마트는 소소 카다 보지 잡라야지. 아니 소소 주고형 가라 소소 굽다 보지 잡라. 둘이 다 맞을라야지 가서 빼줘래. 내가 차대요 그래서.
So therefore, it's very, very important to be careful, and especially with your friends. How do you communicate with your friends? Be careful, and understand what the friend wants, and say those things only what the friend wants. Don't say the things the friend doesn't want. So that's why they're saying, like when you're with the friends, be careful with your mouth. When you're by yourself, be careful with your mind. But Geshe was saying different things. Be careful with your, with your butt, buttock. So you might lose the fat. Anyways, in this case maybe. So yeah, better watch your mind, when you're by yourself, and better watch your mouth when you're with your friends. Because the farting it's not considered anything in the West, right? People will be fighting, among with each other, being in the presence. But in Tibetan, it's considered a very shameful thing, to fight in the public. So, like, there's another saying is that you have to control your fart when you're by yourself. Because if you don't control your fart, and then you just let it go, then you get used to that. You used to letting it go, and then you will let it go even when you're in the public. Different culture, right? Different system. In some system, it's considered bad. Some system is not. So, but anyway, so in this, maybe in your case, doesn't apply to that, right? So yeah, watch your mind.
Okay, watch your mind is good. Okay. Any questions? Hi, Danny. Oh, I saw today, Danny. Good to come to here.
Hi, Geshe. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm finally trying to get in the groove.
yeah. I just think about your business. So 3 months.
Yeah, it's been interesting for sure.
Yeah, good to come there.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions? Hi, Paya.
I have a question, Geshe-la.
Hi, Geshe.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, whose question?
Sorry, I'll go. Yeah. I find that I'm very quick to get angry when I come across people who are not thinking the same way about COVID-19, people who are more careless, people who are not conscientious, and even some of these people are in my family. And so when I try to express how they should be more careful, it ends up becoming a fight. I end up becoming angry. The other person ends up becoming angry. And how do I approach this circumstance without getting angry, or should I just ignore the problem? Thank you.
제가 소속을 랍자 잡는 영해제나 랍자 잡스. and 소속 랍자지는 마냐나 천에 맞으면 약속했어.
그 컨트롤하게 됐어.
제가 아니 코로나한테 가는 남준의 소속 때 소속을 소송당으로 와. 가는 소속 그해 시험치 마냐만 코코로 사게로 와. 제가 남준의 소속 랍자 마냐게제나 저는 마시는 약속했어. 가는 소속 코로나사 영어 말로 왔어.
So, the reason why you get angry is because they don't listen to you, right? So you should talk to somebody, if they will listen to you. Should not talk to people who will not listen to you. So if you know that they're not going to listen to you, then better not talk to them at all. About that. Of course, not in every situation, but just about that. Better not talk about that. And if you don't talk about that, they will not, have not listening to you, and then you will not get angry.
제 가르선나 소속을 해와지 잡 소속을 해와도 맞자마자 가서 샘팜 코로사게로 와.
So because you have an expectation, right? Some kind of expectation when you try to advise somebody, you give advice to somebody, you have some expectation, and when that expectation is not met, then you get disappointed and then you get angry.
제가 대 남지 뺏는 것이 뭐래. 소소 빼나 가서 빼차지나 다 전화도 가지 뭐 빼나 간도 로천보 잖아. 뽀뽀 뭐뭐 잖아. 아니 부고서라 딱 님에게 로딩 가서 내만 내래 제가 다 내래 쳐도 쇼 랍데 그랬어. 나 부고 내가 말했어. 나 부고를 좋아되면 땅대 레바님 말했어. 룩선님 말했어. 다 다나가도 내래 매스. 부고 내가 말했나. 다 람게다 뽀뽀는 뭐 샘빼 밤 그랬어. 뭐가 내가면도 삼. 대래 말은 나 야소랬어.
So nowadays, like, I don't know if it's true in every culture, but in Tibetan culture, the elders like grandparents, they always tell, the children what to do, what not to do. And then they compare the children to themselves. Like, oh no, we used to do that, we used to do like that when we were younger, And the children now, they don't listen. They don't listen at all. And when they don't listen, then the grandparents, they become very disappointed and they become angry or sad, And so, you have to understand the situation. So the children say, "Oh, those are like old, the old, old-fashioned, old way of thinking, old brain, like that." So they think like that, and they don't listen. And so if it's like that, then the grandparents, they better not, compare, the children with their young age, and not talk about that, so that way they will not get angry.
오케이 대체 다 니전에 다 안에 소속 니제 고말에 다 니제 코로소야 단계라인 바스 아니 미시 몸배왕기 소속 책도 대완도자 동알라 아니 대베 가로 동아 텐도 세메제 동아절 응고버주 아니 대완도자 뜸이랑 가다완 특다나 특삼 다가랜도 삼니 다 소속 니제 고마치 보래.
And then that's one thing. The other thing is to meditate on compassion towards them. So like we talked about, so even though they don't want suffering, they run after the cause of the sufferings. And even though they want to have happiness, out of ignorance, they destroy the happiness as if it's their enemy. So by thinking like that, then it's, these poor people, they don't know. So then just meditate on compassion towards them.
Okay. Yes. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, so Geshe, in response to this, to Paul, also, and what you just shared around masks, if people live together and one person believes in masks, the other person doesn't believe in masks, then maybe there's arguments between people.
No, you don't have argument. If you believe, just wear. If other person doesn't believe, don't ask her to wear. You know, just do your own thing. Because your argument, do that. I say, I really discussion. If you or the other person is not same view, don't discussion that way. If they makes you emotion for you.
But what if you feel like, oh, I may get sick because that person is not wearing a mask, you know?
You feel that? Like that, it means, no, this is also maybe you're wrong. Because it's not because he or she do that, because you own not careful. Maybe you try to careful, that doesn't, protect. You have also not just complain them. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Asko?
Hi, Geshe, how are you?
Good.
I think based on Paul's and Asia's question, I think another thing to do is also to just keep your eye on the science of what's going on. Like you said, not to watch the news as much, because what they're going to do is they're just going to tell you all the negative things that are going on. And there are actually a lot of positive things that are going on that we're not hearing about. So just keep your eye on all the positive things. Really, the CDC and the science is really the most important thing. I mean, they just came out and said that there's a 0.002% chance of dying if you're under 70 years old. So really, if you're under 70 years old, the chances of you getting really hurt by this are very minimal. So I think the most important thing is just to be careful with the older people and make sure that they're the ones who are protected, because our immune systems are a lot better than we think that they are. So that's my real own. That's kind of what I'm trying to do, is just kind of not really listen to the news and just pay more attention to the actual science.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
How was it, John?
That's social 고송 파시.
Me lo dunjuge ola. Nangi de pe nyunyores. This is la sabza chego amarasils.
That they chance the sabza mare. They be no to this. Me dunjuge to nangi nyure single so they no to this. Sumik selana.
So the CDC la gudusa.
They no to this. CDC selana no to. When they to the memo share go down. Nagdo atene. Ngan tongo do atene. So
that's what Geshe was saying earlier, Austin. Geshe was saying earlier that that's the bad kind of a news, that encourages young people to be like careless. So we're not 70 years, we're under 70 years old, so we don't have to worry about getting sick or dying like that. And then that makes them to go into a crowd without safety, and then they get sick, and then so many people die. So many young people die also.
So that's very
obvious, right? We have seen, so many people, right, getting sick, who are much younger and stronger, and then dying also. So if we haven't seen, then we can say, oh yeah, but we have seen it. So, so
yeah, but we've seen it. Of course, we've seen it because that's what the news is telling us. I mean, but they're not talking about all the other people who aren't dying. They're only talking about the people who are dying. So. Yes, I totally agree with you about the fact that we need to be careful. We need to really protect our elderly people. If young kids are going out in crowds and they have elderly people at home, that's a problem. That's a problem, and that's what we really need to worry about, is protecting our elderly. If anybody's on Facebook, I mean, there's a lot of different there's a lot of doctors and epidemiologists who are out there talking about all this different science. So I would just
제가 단다 사이즈를 강화하면 단디 차라 저라서 삼모여는 나사디 콜라파지 자나를 차 쓰지요 말 가게 하고 가르 코도 나사 담보 코도 용타 들어봤어. 코도 담보 갑대 장에 들어봤어. 단데 담블이 사이 뭐 갈면 갈는 메시지 소토 메와 돼. 제가 나도 사이즈에서 고 하나서 이렇게 도.
So yeah, I mean, right now, even the science, nobody really knows exactly where it's coming from, right? And the best people we can say now who knows the best about it, is the China, because it came from China, and they are the one, who first discovered it, and then I think they will have the most knowledge about it. No matter what kind of scientist you are, nobody seems to have really idea about this disease yet.
Suppose Namju Nasa Yunga de Nasa Yunga Ma Yerusalem. Nasa Mena Ko Marsa de Zamata Janado.
And so, of course, when you compare with the percentage, of how many people, get sick, how many older people get sick, how many younger people get sick, of course, the percentage will be much higher among the older people. And then how many people get sick who have underlying disease, who doesn't have. Then, of course, people who have underlying disease, then they have more chances of getting this infection. But doesn't mean that those who doesn't have any underlying disease, who are young and strong, and those who are young, not like 70 years old and so forth, will not get disease. It's again impossible to say that, right? So because there's so many people.
Of course, no, that's of course. I didn't say that. Of course, no, that's absolutely correct.
Yeah. 제가 대듯이 당가도 내 사이에서 나중에도 이체가 되면 쇼치라 가시 공고를 팽거서 쇼치 팽가 말해서 라고도 다 가리냐 거래. 제가 소소서 섭섭치는 거도.
So the scientists, or the CDCs, so sometimes they come up, with the advice saying that we should wear the mask, and sometimes they say you don't have to wear the mask. Mask doesn't benefit much, and so forth. So who do we should listen to? So it's ourselves, We have to be careful with, by ourselves, and then do what we think is the most careful thing to do.
Okay, 대대 다 전화 나와 나지래. 나도 내려 가봐야 안에 랩에 착가리도 랩에 쇼달라 선보다는 소주 세마도 팽거래. 랩에 차도 쇼 용거 말 무슨 쉐고 말.
And so, like you said, what is the true and what is not true, and they are talking only the bad things and they're not talking the good things. So think about the good things, and then that will help our mind to be more at peace also.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Amy. Amy.
I just wanted to mention that the underlying diseases is really important to consider as well, especially kidney, liver, and heart conditions or any autoimmune conditions. So if somebody's had cancer and, for example, and their autoimmune system has been impacted, or if they have a heart condition, liver condition, or kidney condition, then they should be extra careful as well, no matter what age they are. Or if you have family members or colleagues who have those conditions as well, it's not age dependent, that's really health dependent.
Yeah, that's correct. 제가 안에 조도 섭잖아. 당간도 참여는 게요. 나도 참말라. 나사 연날에 나사 맨날에 로체나 주나 참말은 게요. 섭주시고 그래.
So yeah, so that's true. That, but doesn't mean that even if we don't have underlying disease, or even if we are young and strong, doesn't mean that we're going to not carry that virus, right? We can carry that virus, and from that, then we can give it to others. So it's really important for us, to be careful for the sake of others.
제가 안에 대다치는 단 잠벌에 배나 다다가 아리도 배나 아리도 수도 강에 주주래도 배나 나와이나 메가노 가가 슈그테고 빼야 버려 왔어. 단단하도 컴플레인 쳐야 그래. 아니 내가 도셔나야 슈그페 쳐도 저 오늘 빼야 버려. 대도 섬저 따가면도 쇼쳐돼.
So, like when we have this disease, then in America it's very good, right? Very facility is very good. If you go to the hospitals, you can get treatments, even if you don't have money to cover yourself, you can get treated. And then if you lost job because of the COVID-19, and then you get compensation for that, or you get unemployment benefits and things like that. So there are so many benefits. So not the problem is very, very minimal, right? But yet still we complain a lot about it.
배나 자갈라 파지 슈그맨가데 파지 프리 인사리. 다 슈그맨가는 로사말 게르반 로고나 자가고 몸 신이 둥고 봐라. 그래도 샤오레스. 아마.
So like in India, you know, it's very difficult because and of course, if you go to the government hospitals are very poor facilities, very unhygienic, you know. So, I mean, nobody wants to go there, but if you have no choice but, you know, to go there, right? So most of the people go there. And those who don't want to go to the government hospitals, if they want to go to the private hospitals, then they have to have like money up in the front to pay for that, like, you know, 400 to 700,000 rupees and upfront, you know, to pay for that. So that's what I heard, you know, in India right now, you know. So that's what, you know, that's what I heard, but I don't know if that's true or not. So if there is a good side of it, then you can think about the good side, and that will help us, our mind to be at ease, right? And so now all the scientists, you know, are learning so many things. They're gaining much more knowledge now. And then from the Dharma point of view, you know, it has given us a very good message, right? About death and impermanence. Don't be so arrogant, you know, don't be so proud, you know, thinking that you are strong and so forth. You know, you can die anytime. And it says that we are all equal, you know. So, you know, whether you are rich or poor, whether you are, you know, strong or, you know, weak, and no matter who you are, you know, when it comes, you know, equally to all.
Okay. Anyway, like that, we talk a lot. Then please do some meditation. Then if they have some mix to develop your emotion, don't look it that way. Don't discussion that way. Because we
have no power to make the changes, so better just stay, you know, on the corner. And as we say that the smart person doesn't talk much, you know, just stay quietly. Of course, the smart person, if he can do it, he will do it, right? If he knows he cannot do it, then he will just stay quiet on the side. And so anything that, you know, creates disturbance in your mind, then that is the delusion, you know? And better not go under that, and I mean after that at all.
Okay, everyone get one candy, okay? This is a how you say, organic, no problem. I show the Tibetan kids for every day. It's 3 months. I hold in my hand. Okay, anyway, it's wonderful. It's very wonderful to see all of you. My best wish for all of you. Thank you for all of you. Be very strong, protect, and very good, all of you. I think we are very lucky. We are, you know, able to do pray, chanting. Also, we not a worst person. Of course, we have also challenges, but no worst. We're not sick, you know. Therefore, we just rejoice that way, okay? And also, we very good, very beautiful day. We can just talk here. But you guys are all inside. I'm outside. Then you feel, you visualization. You also the roof of the Gomba. Okay, thank you. Okay, now you pray. You can finish pray.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Geshe.
Thank you.
You can
Thank
pray.
you.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you.
Geshe and Damcho.
Thank you, Damacho. Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe, Damcho.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Page 39, Thanksgiving Mandala offering.
Saji Puki Juxing Metok Tram, Ri Rabling Jini de Genpa di Sangye Jingdu Mikte Uagi, Droko Nam Jagjing La Chirpashu, Jitun Lame Kutse Raptin Ching, Nam Katrin Le Chokcher Ge Padang, Lo Santen Pedron Me Sasungi, Droe Munsel Taktu Negyur Chik, Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. From my two collections, vast as space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom lies blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time, with my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread have declined. May I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounty as peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. Even this graded course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chenrezig remain in life till samsara's end. Savior of the snowland teachings and transmigratory beings who extensively clarifies the path that unifies emptiness and compassion. To the lotus in the hand, Lord Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be fulfilled. Page 49, the short, long, loud prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as a bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjana's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. Page 57, the prayer of dedication. May this virtue, through this virtue, may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha's state, place each and every sentient being, without exception, in that state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. Page 75, Metsema. Metse waiter chen chen rezik, dream ken pe wang po jam pelyan, gong chen ke pe su yen Tsongkhapa, lo sang grang pe Jabla Solwade. Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Geshe.
Have a good day. My best wish for all of you.